You are listening to an exclusive interview on Bass Musician Magazine. The interview starts now.
What would you say the difference between like getting ready for a tour, going out to get ready to, on one of these big ass tours with Michael or Madonna? What do they have in common? Are they totally different? I kind of feel these guys that they both have a kind of a serious work ethic and they just want to get the stuff done. Is there anything that differentiates between those two when it comes to that?
Well, overall, it's the same template. A professional on that the level and skill that they both are on as a professional. They want perfection from everybody in every position working for them. So when they hire you, they pay you a lot of money. Play the music as if you played on the record. Sometimes with Madonna, I did play on the records as well. They want you to be prepared, the first rehearsal and they want you to be cooperative. They want you to be respectful to everyone involved. Their personality matters a lot. They want pleasant atmospheres and conditions and surroundings when they're working, putting together big giant tours like that. Michael and Madonna are very much in the same realm of thinking and working the machine together. Because each production, Michael's giant machine that goes out on the road, Madonna was exactly the same giant machine. The musics are slightly different. It's both pop music, but slightly different. When you ask about a difference between them, the only difference I can see, because I love both styles of music, is that personality. Madonna was more aggressive. She's very strong-natured. She's from Detroit. She grew up as a young girl and moved to New York and grew up amongst the streets and the musician and music scene in New York. And New York is a pretty rough place in some places, other city and stuff like that. So she grew up amongst the people that really knew the hustle, knew the game, and really were determined to make their life something, and aggressive in life. Even though she was very kind. But she has a street way of saying things, and getting a point across. Displeasure. If you displease her and you don't know your stuff, she had to tell you just like in a real street terminology about it and about you directly to your face. So, I don't care who you are. I've seen her do that to some sound guys, look like Hell's Angel bikers, and she just cursed about it and tell them what they wanted. But she felt at the time because they wasn't up on their game, and she was paying them a lot of money, and she was ready to send them home the next day. Okay. But Michael is the flip of the coin. We got heads and tails. Michael is so quiet, so humble. Same expectation. You come in and you got to know your stuff. But he was a little more lenient and not aggressive at all. And he's very peaceful in spirit. When you enter the room, you felt that the molecules in the air changed. You literally felt that. You knew something had happened in the room. And you look over and you see Michael's just enter the room, okay, and through the doorway or just sitting over there. You didn't know it, but you felt something different. He had a spirituality that was deeply rooted and connected, to the source of us all. And he was very passive, and he knew that we would deliver what he wanted because we wanted to please him. So he wasn't aggressive and strong-natured with any of us, He was pleasant. He joke around, very shyly and humbly. And sometimes, and he'll laugh at jokes. But most of the time he was quiet. But he knew his music and he was on it. If he didn't play something right, he'll call out, that chord is not right. I don't know how well he was versed at piano, but he hears a difference in the chord inversion, and he'll point that out to you. He said, wow, he noticed that, And Madonna was very much that way as well.
What I think is really cool about this is after you become a good musician, after you make and carve your way some chances, and if you're able to have continued success like you, to be able to go from one project to another of such a caliber, after the playing comes being able to handle yourself within these situations so you do not get the boot. There's also that part of the arrangement, right?
You learn as somebody hired by one of these artists that this is a whole nother existence of professionalism and working in the music industry. And you realize real quickly, I like it here. I don't want to lose this. So you're going to do everything pleasant to conform to what the instructions is, working on that level. You watch other people and see what they do and react and stuff. But my pleasantry makes people want to have you around them. They pick up on that and they feel your energy. We emit energy. we creatures of energy. Spirit is energy, so you emit it even though you don't know it. You walk around with something else outside of music is on your mind, happening at home. You got this negative energy. It emits from your body. People pick that up. You got to walk around pleasant. You got to forget that stuff or what to deal with it later. And we, in exchange with one another on the rehearsal sets and on the tours, everybody's happy to be there. We love the music. Otherwise, for me, I wouldn't do music. If I don't like the music, I don't care how much it pays. I'm not going to do the tour. I got to enjoy myself. Then it becomes work. If it's a lot of money, but I don't like the music, it becomes work. And I don't want to work. I want to play. What do you say? What we do?
That's good, bro.
I play drums. I'm a little boy. I want to play. I don't play in the playground with my drums. I play music. I don't work music.
Playing acoustic drums locked up to like those killer machine bass lines and programming sequences and stuff. When I think of you being there from the very beginning of drum machines, you seem to be that guy who can lock into a machine and practically control its speed and not have it control you. So what's the secret about that? Because to me, that's way more than following a click. You know what I mean? Like, people who just follow a click can easily become pretty freaking sterile. You know what I mean? But you seem to forget it's there and you're controlling it in real time with your own playing. What's up with that?
I think it stems from its origin from when I'm very young. As I say, trying to mimic my heroes and people who inspire me on drums on the record. James Brown drummers, Clyde Stubblefield, J. Will Starbucks, and Melvin. All the drummers, James Brown drummers inspired me a lot. So I would play with those vinyl records, at that time, first coming up. And same thing with the Motown records, the Stax records, the Atlantic records, artists. If it was music I liked and was interested in, had a cool drum beat on it, it was a top 10 song, I'd have to learn it. So here you go. You have to learn it. So you get there and you work with the beats. You keep putting the needle back. Once you don't get it right, you got to run, do it again, start it again. Then once you get it, you want to play the full song down. So you're tracking with the song. So that's the first step. The first element to playing with the click, for me, especially my generation, is playing with those records. A lot of people are starting to realize now, but back then it was the magic. We don't care. We didn't focus on it. But if you realize that the tempos on the records drift, they weren't exactly like with a drum machine, a click track. But we didn't even think about that because there was no such thing as a click track in the 70s. But you did learn to be with the click track because you was learning to track with the record. No matter where it sped up, you sped up too. When it slowed down to be in sync with it, you drifted. You drifted. So you are actually absorbing the elements of mentality and emotionality and focus and concentration is very key. From playing with those drifting tempo records, and you're tracking with it.
That is an amazing way to look at things.
So you drift, whatever that is, wherever that tempo is, speeding up, slow down, I got to be with it to be in sync with the rest of the music of the band. So that was a subliminal thing that you don't realize, and I didn't at the time, but I was very, very stickler on being at the same place at the same time as every musician when I played to the records. So I took it like I was on stage. I took it very, very serious. From that practice of that decade or so, I learned to track things. So when they came up with the stereo click track, I already was embedded with the first elements of that. So I started listening to the click track, and I know I got to be with it. And so I would listen to where the click is. I know my snare drum beats on the 2 and 4 had to be with that click at that particular time, married to it, and be like this.
Locked up.
Can't be like this. It's got to be like this. It can't be like that. It's got to be like this. So you develop your inner consciousness, your inner awareness, and you put that on auto lockdown pilot, basically. I'm just explaining things like I didn't sit there and say, I'm going to put that on auto lockdown pilot. As I said, naturally, from being aware and deeply focused, in a sense, that element of my brain, because your brain is, as being a drummer especially, is divided by maybe 8-part elements of workings, to do all the limbs and everything, listen to the bass player, listen to the keyboard player, the singer and stuff. You got about 8 or 9, 10 things working in your brain from separate functionalities. So I put that on element, and that's listening, while my other ears and sense of awareness is listening to the other musicians and also formulating what I'm playing. Even if you're a bass player, any musician, learn some drums. Because, one of the beauties of playing drums is that it's so complex that children, especially as a child, learn drums. Because it develops your mind to be multifaceted. You can do 5, 6, 7, 8 things at one time, and it becomes natural for you. And you can carry that over to other elements of your life and apply that and be aware of so many things around you might have missed if you have one sense of conscious brain that you grew up learning. So drums are very, very beneficial to especially youth. Learn it young, and it becomes natural in your teens and your adolescence and your older age, and you can accomplish so much more. But you make yourself that sharply aware and acute in your consciousness and your subconscious that you can actually do what they call magic.
Thank you for checking out BassMusicianMagazine.com, the face of bass.